Addison was 7 years younger than her spouse. Still in the bloom of youth and fairly naive, she accepted the marriage offer. Liam was her first true love, and at that moment, she believed that her entire universe revolved exclusively around him. Liam presented her with a ring during her final year at university. Addison's mother, tears streaming down her face, implored her daughter to complete her studies, highlighting her status as a star pupil on track for a distinction. She pleaded with her to not let her romantic entanglements cloud her focus. The gentleman consented to wait, as he had little choice. As soon as Addison had successfully defended her thesis and navigated through her final examinations, she began to eagerly discuss plans for their wedding. She was itching to share the news with her friends that she would be the first to tie the knot, and they started gearing up for the big day. Funds were tight, but the bride-to-be was overjoyed and threw herself into the wedding preparations. Initially, their union was akin to a storybook romance. Addison joyously anticipated Liam's return each day, experimenting with various recipes and delighting in beautifying their shared living space. Liam's buddies marveled at how Addison, at such a young age, managed to be so proficient and domestically skilled, inspiring a mix of surprise and envy among them. Yet none suspected the undercurrents swirling beneath her serene exterior. Liam started to realize that Addison was acquiring an assortment of gifts: charming baubles, cups, novels, and an excessive amount of chocolate. He half-joked that he might soon need to set up a confectionery shop. Whenever he inquired about the origins of these items, Addison breezily replied that they were presents from her mother or sister, who had popped by for a visit. And so, rather naively, he chose to overlook these small mysteries. Afterwards, the spouse ventured into the realm of nightclubs and leisurely cruised in the car with her companions, relinquishing her former domestic tranquility. Liam suspected she yearned to relive the freedom she had forsaken in her youth, when she was an admirable, genteel young woman constrained by societal expectations. Thus, he resolved to endure this phase. "Darling, I want to go to the club," his wife cooed into his ear. "Addison, that's enough. The second time this week. This is serious." Liam adamantly opposed, yearning to spend the weekend united with his beloved. "Oh, please, they're expecting me," the woman grinningly replied with a hint of cunning. To this, her husband responded with a shake of his head. Addison's countenance transformed in an instant, from a playful kitten to a wrathful frenzy, hurling obscenities at her spouse. Liam did not foresee such a reaction, anticipating a wholly different response from his beloved. Addison abstained from attending the club that day, yet throughout the following week, she maintained a resolute silence, unfazed by her husband's words until he offered an apology. "That's precisely it," she remarked once Liam made amends. "You know exactly how to wound me." The man turned away from his wife, rolling his eyes, pondering the plethora of superfluous liberties she had begun to take. Or perhaps, he pondered, he himself had spoiled her. One morning, as Liam embarked on his journey to work, he chanced upon a car accident. A friend had gifted him a splendid dashboard camera for his birthday, which he promptly installed on the windshield and promptly forgot about. Now, he was reminded of its existence when asked to present the footage captured by the camera. Liam needed to transfer the footage from the DVR to his computer to pinpoint the exact moment of the accident. As he waited for the data transfer to complete, he felt a mix of anxiety and determination. Finally, everything was ready. He quickly located the accident scene, but something else caught his eye. He decided to rewind to the day Addison had taken the car. Initially, there was nothing out of the ordinary. She got in, then got out, only to get back in. But then, a man appeared and leaned in to kiss her. Liam could hardly believe his eyes. He kept watching, his heart pounding, curious about what would happen next. Addison and the stranger drove off, chatting and laughing, her laughter echoing in the car. When the vehicle eventually stopped, Addison tied her hair into a ponytail and vanished from the frame. The man's expression gave away what she was up to. Liam felt a wave of disgust wash over him. What a betrayal, he muttered under his breath. Thank goodness the recorder captured video both inside the car and on the road. Otherwise, who knows how long her deception would have gone unnoticed. Rage boiled inside him, and a plan for retaliation formed in his mind instantly. Using an anonymous social media account, he sent the incriminating video to all her contacts, including friends and even her parents. At first, he was overcome with guilt, second-guessing his impulsive move. But then it dawned on him. Now she'd endure the same pain, maybe even worse. When he got home, he found Addison sobbing and talking on the phone with her mother. I don't know who did it, and I had no idea we were being recorded, she cried into the phone. As soon as she spotted Liam's smug expression, she hung up abruptly. It was you, she accused with venom in her voice. Yes, it was me, Liam replied with eerie calmness. Enraged, she lunged at him to strike, but he caught her wrists, gripping them tightly. Addison let out a high-pitched cry and forcefully withdrew her hand. What have you done? She sobbed, inquiring. I could ask you the same question. How long has this been happening? Her husband questioned, pronouncing each word with disdain. Not too long. About 6 months. Addison confessed. The revelation sent Liam into a state of horror. 6 whole months. 6 months of his cherished wife engaging in an affair and claiming it was nothing serious. He glared at Addison, his confusion palpable, while she continued to read the incoming messages inquiring about a video. You have destroyed my life. Do you understand that? Liam laughed bitterly. And you, when you were on your knees before your lover, what were you thinking? Are you certain it is me who ruined your life? His wife sat before him, her eyes swollen from tears and her makeup smudged, emitting an aura of pathetic despair that almost made Liam feel a pang of pity. However, he sternly commanded himself to resist approaching Addison. His phone buzzed in his pocket. It displayed his mother-in-law's name on the screen. Liam retrieved the phone, and before he could utter a word, he was bombarded with a barrage of complaints concerning the unfortunate Evelyn. Who did this to her? His wife's mother sighed. Indifferent to it all, the man simply admitted to being responsible. A heavy silence filled the receiver. Then, a few moments later, the mother-in-law screamed so loudly that Liam had to move the phone away from his ear, fearful of damaging his hearing. It was a real risk, faced with such an uproar. Without bothering to listen to the stream of profanity spewing from his mother-in-law's mouth, he abruptly ended the call. You have 1 hour to pack, he informed Addison, leaving to find solace on the balcony with a cigarette. May was in its vibrant prime. The blooming trees captivated him with their intoxicating fragrance, and the spring air carried an exhilarating quality. Liam inhaled deeply, savoring this brief respite. It felt as though this moment marked the start of something entirely new. Eventually, the sharp sound of the front door echoing through the house marked her departure. Barely 2 minutes had passed before Addison stepped out from the foyer, throwing a scathing gesture toward her husband, who could only chuckle in response. Whispers about his former spouse circulated persistently. Some gossipers whispered that she had taken off with a new flame, while others murmured about her recent wild escapades. A buddy of his recently mentioned spotting her at a nightclub, cozying up to a known troublemaker from town. Certainly, it wasn't a promising sight. At times, he pondered over what might become of Addison, and daydreamed about the direction his own life, and that of their once shared family, might take. Yet he subscribed to the belief that all that transpires does so for the better. Liam harbored no bitterness about the past. He was optimistic about a promising and bright future that lay ahead.